Can you hear me? I'm just checking if people can hear me. And I'm going to open. If you could just type in the chat box if you can hear me. Okay, I think my hello. It looks like yeah, my speaker is working. Can you hear me? Okay, let's see. In the meantime, I will open the slides. Okay, Mohammed Yusuf, thank you. Let's just wait till 5 minutes to let all the students join in. And in the meantime, I'm bringing up the slides for today. What is not recording? It is recording, okay. Okay, I will share my screen in the meantime. Let me know when you can see my screen. Oh, 1 second. I might need to do this. Okay, Smile, thank you. Thank you for letting me know. I hope more students will join, but if not, doesn't matter. We will continue the lesson. But I just give maybe 1 more minute for people to join. And this session is being recorded, so please, for the students who are not able to join because of any reason, we will. I will post the recording, and I think hopefully they can still go through it. It's important. This session is going to be important because we will start the discussion on Power BI, and we will go to the Microsoft Learn portal. And if people don't, if they miss this session, then it might be difficult for them to kind of know how we are proceeding with the let's say uh, the material on the Microsoft Learn portal. So I hope I will mention this when I post the recording and the slides. Hopefully they can catch up with it. Okay, let me just check on WhatsApp if there's anything that came. No, there's nothing on the WhatsApp. Good. Okay. Okay, so it's waiting. Okay, so I suggest let's start, and yeah, let's start the session. So so today's lecture number three for emerging technologies. We talked about in the last session about a few emerging technologies. So we will do a quick recap of that. Just kind of just do a quick review of those three or four technologies we talked about last time, and then we will go into Power BI, which I hope everybody will find really exciting and interesting, because we will actually start to work with this tool. It is freely available to download and to at least do some initial learning with. So hopefully everybody will enjoy that. It is very hands-on, so this will become very hands-on now. Like, hands-on means you have to sort of do it yourself on your computers, and sort of learn it yourself. And then we will use the sessions to I will use the sessions to guide you a little bit, and hopefully we can also talk about, if you're stuck somewhere or if you're not able to proceed, then we can talk about that as well in these sessions, right? So that's the fun of Power BI and a bit more of hands-on learning. So that's what we're gonna cover. Last time, quickly looking at the lecture last time and a bit of the assignment from last time. So we talked about, if I can remember, we talked about 3 or 4 technologies last time. We talked about robotic process automation, RPA, um, which is which is about automating tasks that humans do, but can easily be done by software or what we call like bots. These bots can copy paste things from here to there. They can sort of they can work in service desk type of work, but also they can do some of the basic moving of data from one place to another. And I'm now thinking what other technologies we talked about last time. So it's a good test to see if you all remember the technologies we talked about last time. One was, of course, robotic process automation. The other one I know was data and analytics, which is what we're going to go a bit more deeper into, which is about, hey, how do you interpret data? How do you make sense of it? How do you derive some insights from data, etc. So we're going to talk about it. We talked about descriptive analytics and diagnostic analytics and prescriptive and predictive analytics, etc. So what's the difference between different types of analytics? We talked about that a bit. Now, who remembers like the other 2 technologies we talked about? Let's see. You can just ping it in the box, I mean in the chat window. So what other 2 technologies we talked about last time? Anybody remembers or not? Is somebody typing in the chat window? Okay, if you don't remember, yeah, I suggest please, yeah, review the lecture from last time as well. I think we talked about also artificial intelligence and machine learning. That was the other one we talked about last time. And I kind of shared more about what is artificial intelligence versus what is machine learning, which is, they're both related but not exactly the same. Machine learning is a subset of artificial intelligence. So that was, those were the technologies. Of course, um, yeah, I suggest please do read about it, because we will have, let's say, questions about some of these technologies and more about how you can use it in your context or where you have seen the application of it, etc. Now, let's just move on. And I shared last time as well. So for the next 6 classes, we will focus on Power BI, and we will actually work with the Microsoft Learn portal. Um, Now, I shared also last time that make sure you log into Microsoft Learn website and familiarize yourself with the setup, um, and also make sure that you start to look at, um, this is the link we will start to work with, the Power BI one, which I'll go in a second. But maybe just I want to check, does everybody now have a login on Microsoft Learn portal? Can you ping and say if you have logged into it? And I'm going there now, so I'll share on the screen. I'm just signing in with my own ID. Let me see. Maybe I'm not getting, it's possible that I'm not getting the latest chat output. So have people logged into the Microsoft Learn portal? Have they have they logged into it and see if they have access to this? Because if you don't have access to this, and you have not set up your login ID, etc., then you won't be able to. I mean, you can still attend the session, but you won't be able to do anything after it. So, and that's going to be a bit of a challenge because we will make it hands-on, right? We talked about it, and everybody said we wanted to learn more about Power BI or data analytics, and so this is it. So I'm expecting that people have at least been able to log in. Can somebody respond to that? Maybe I'm not getting the latest chat messages. Let me just close it and let me go back. Uh, okay, I see Omar and Yusuf. Um, you have logged in. Yeah, I'm expecting everybody to log in. Yeah, if you don't log in, I mean, you will not be able to follow the rest of the course. So again, you don't have to log in right now, but I already mentioned that please make sure that you are able to log into this. If you're not able to log into this, you won't be able to follow what we're doing, and you won't be able to follow the specific modules that we will do on the website. And that also means, you won't be able to sort of, follow the assignments and for this course properly. So please make sure if you've not logged in, you must log into it. And if you have a problem logging in, or if you have a problem, joining in, then you tell me about it, and then I will see how best to help you. Um, but for people who can log in or who have logged in before, you go in, it looks like this. It's got all different kinds of modules to work on. And let me now go. We will actually look at this particular learning path. It's called a learning path. Yeah, I can make it a bit bold. It's called a learning path, which is called create and use analytics report with Power BI. So that's this one, create and use analytics reports with Power BI. Hopefully everybody can see this on my screen. I will click on this. And when you click on this, you will see that it has 6 modules. You see here, 6 modules to be completed. Yeah, and so we will complete the 6 modules in the remaining 6 or so classes, and that will give you more hands-on experience of Power BI. It will make you understand the concepts, but it'll also make you do the things. So that's, I think, the most exciting part of it. Again, I mean, if you're not going to log into this, yeah, you will miss out on all of this. So I suggest figure out, if you've not logged in, figure out to log in, and then reach this create and use analytics reports with Power BI learning path. See here, it says learning path. So it's this learning path. I have a link in the back in the slides over here. If you use this, you will reach there. Yeah, so I'm hoping everybody can do that, because the rest of this course, basically the rest of 6 or 7 lectures, will all be about this only. And if you're not logging in, well, you will really miss it out. Okay, I think I've given enough, a heads up and introduction of it. I mean, I hope everybody sort of understands that and logs into it. Okay, let's move on. So Power BI, maybe a little bit about Power BI before we go into the portal, into the website on Microsoft Learn and try to do things ourselves. So what is Power BI? Do people know what Power BI is? Let's check. Have you heard about it? Thank you, Mohammed Yusuf. Thank you about it. Yeah, please share with all the students. Now, have you heard of Power BI? Who has heard of Power BI? I mean, just again checking it, because it is the most important data analytics tool today. Today, it is the most important data analytics tool today. And if you are a student of data analytics, or if you want to become a data analyst in any company, if you want to do things around machine learning and artificial intelligence, but you want to start with, let's say, some basics around data and analytics, Power BI is the tool to do all of that. It is a Microsoft product, so it's owned by Microsoft, and it's growing very, very rapidly. So having Power BI certification, or sort of, completing a Power BI course and getting some knowledge in it is really going to help you, I think, find a good job. Or if you already have a job as a data analyst, or as a, in the area of data management in your company, it will help you to basically, grow your skill set. Yeah, so Power BI is the I think I also shared comparison of some other tools or some other products. But Power BI is the fastest growing and probably the best, one of the best data analytics tools. So it's a Microsoft product, like I said. It's a collection of software services and applications and connectors that work together to turn your unrelated source of data into a coherent and visually interactive insights. So here's Power BI. It can take data from things like SurveyMonkey or SQL, which is one of the data warehouses or databases. It can take data from spreadsheets or Microsoft Excel. It can take data from Access or Microsoft Access. It can take data from even Internet Explorer. It can take data from Salesforce. This is a Salesforce cloud. So it can take data from all kinds of sources and basically turn it into all these nice looking charts and graphs. And it's very powerful. It has got a lot of features and ways to create such dashboards, etc. Right? So and now, whether your data is a simple Microsoft Excel, so if you're working just simply with Microsoft Excel, doesn't really matter. Power BI also works with Excel. Um, or if your data is like very complicated data warehouses. Data warehouses are like, um, how best to explain. So data warehouses are like, you know, um, store software. It's like a storage for all your data. And so, you can imagine if you're in a large company that is having transactions with customers, every minute, it is creating a lot of data, right? Now, data that data needs to be stored somewhere, and that data needs to be organized as well. So data warehouses are a way to organize your data. And so it can take data from those big, large databases in data warehouses, or it can take data from simple Microsoft Excel workbook as well. It doesn't really matter. The key thing is that it lets you easily connect to your data sources. So connectors are something that's very important, that allows it to connect to different data sources, and basically then visualize, what that data says. It has a lot of inbuilt visualization on its own. So that's going to be very exciting to see. Now, again, the portal, the place to go is the Microsoft Learn portal. Okay, let me see if there's any question. No. Okay, then let's go back, learn more about Power BI. So there are three different parts of Power BI, three different parts, right? Um, there is a Microsoft Windows desktop application, meaning something you can download on your computer. So you can download it. It's called Power BI Desktop. Yeah, it's available for free. There's a version of it that's available for free. Then you have an online software as a service version, or software as a service application called Power BI Service, which is also available for free. And then you have mobile Power BI apps. So you've got, you know a mobile application called Power BI Apps that's available for your, mobile devices. But the thing is, you can't build a Power BI dashboard or a Power BI report with the mobile app. All you can do with the mobile app is, of course, to show the report and interact with it, and touch it and play around with it. But to actually create a report and create a dashboard, you need either the desktop version or you need the Power BI service, the online SaaS version. So you will have to download and work with Power BI on your own computer. So that's something, yeah, you need to, we'll have to try out. So that's why I was saying you need to get the access to Microsoft Learn portal. You need to download this as well as we go. But it will tell us when to download it. So we will reach that point. So these three elements together are designed to sort of work and, create and share insights in a way that serves the roles the best. Some people only need the mobile Power BI app because they are working in sales and marketing, and all they need is to see a report. They don't need to create a report themselves. whereas some people like the data analyst would actually need all three versions to actually be able to create a report, test it, see how it's looking, modify it, etc., etc. So yeah, if and we are going to look at it from a data analyst perspective, so we will need like more or less all three parts to be with us. Okay, let me go back. Um, let's see. What else I covered? So fundamental building blocks of Power BI. So you can see on the screen, it looks a little bit like this. We will go. We will start to have. We'll start to go to the learning path in a second, but it is this is the desktop version. It looks a bit like this. It has got all these tabs where you can select how a chart should look, what to include, what not to include, different kinds of charts, etc. This is just an example from the Microsoft Learn website, but it has these 4 or 5 building blocks. So visualization is what kind of chart to use best. And the nice thing about Power BI is that if you show it the data, it will show you some visualizations automatically. So it will show you whether it should be like a bar chart, which is this one, or it should be like a pie chart, which is this one, or it should be like a line graph, which is this one, right? So different kind of visualization. And again, that is the whole point of the data analyst, right? You want to convert this data into something more meaningful, and that very much depends on how do you visualize it so people can easily understand what is the insight. So that first step, Power BI will automatically propose some kind of some kind of visualizations, and you can choose and select, and you say, okay, I don't like this one, maybe what about like this kind of chart, etc. But it does the first level on its own, which is a good thing. Data sets, it has place to either keep the data sets yourself, so you can, there's like a, again, you can imagine it's like a spreadsheet which can keep all the data in it, or you can connect the Power BI to the data source. You can do that. Dashboard is something like this that you see on the screen. So a dashboard can have multiple charts in it, coming from different data sources, and build on different reports, etc. So a dashboard could look like something like this. That's a collective kind of piece. A report is, you can say, more like um, the best way to think about it between report and dashboard, the difference, and you don't need to know a lot of these details now, but as you work through it, I think you will get it. A report is something where only one data source is used, and you can create multiple reports from the same data source. So let's say I have um, data about sales of soaps. Let's just take that example. Sales of soaps in Somalia. You have kind of that data set with you. Now you can create different reports from it. You can say, okay, how many soaps were sold, on a monthly basis? I want that kind of a report or chart. How many soaps were sold in what part of the country? I want a report or chart of that. But for all the charts, you're basically using just one data source, which is um, sales of soaps in Somalia, for example, right? So that's your primary data source. Now, uh, a dashboard may combine reports from multiple data sources. So you can have another data source which is like, hey, sales of soap overall by this company in the rest of the world. So you say, hey, I have data around sales of soap for rest of the world from this company, and sales of soaps only in Somalia. These are two different data sets, and a dashboard can combine reports from two different data sets, but a report can only have visualizations, etc., from only one data set. So that's basically the difference. A dashboard allows you to combine more reports, basically. A tile is a tile is the way to visualize, and like one square block here is like a tile. So this one actually has 4 tiles on it. So it's just that's very basic, but you can read more about it here. Let me see if I need to admit somebody. Let's see. I will come to this question in a second. In semester 4, we are going to take Power BI and Tableau. Now you're saying coming six. Well, we talked about this. I mean, one of the things, when I started the emerging technology session was to say, hey, what technologies you all want to learn about. And the answer that most of the students said was, we want to learn more about data analytics technology. Now, the best way to learn about a data analytics technology is actually to learn about one of the technologies directly, right? And Power BI is one such technology. Now, again, I mean, you are going to only learn like the very basics of Power BI in 6 classes. So you're not going to learn, enormously in 6 classes so that you're an expert in Power BI or anything like that. But I think it's a good introduction and a very hands-on way to learn about data analytics. So that's why I kind of already shared that for the next 6 classes or so, we will learn more about Power BI. The best way to learn about it is through the Microsoft portal and through, let's say, one learning path, which introduces you to all the key components, it allows you to play around with the features of Power BI, etc. But by no means it is a, any advanced kind of a course. So I would say, I mean, if we, for semester 4, we can again look what exactly we want to dive into in Power BI, if that's still the preference, to learn more about. But yeah, this will be at least your introduction to Power BI. That's what I can say, Zakaria. Okay. Let me go back. Okay, so now now I shared very basics about Power BI. Now this learning path on Microsoft Learn has 6 modules, like I just showed. It has 6 modules. The first module is around get started building with Power BI. It will just show you some of the basic things that I just showed to you now. Like, okay, hey, how is Power, what is Power BI made of? What's the different components like these dashboards and reports, etc. So that's module 1. Module 2 will be when we will actually start to get the Power BI desktop, download it, play around with the data in it. You will get, the portal has some data sets there available, so you can download it and you can, start working with it. The module 3 will cover modeling the data in Power BI. So it's actually not that straightforward to say, hey, here's my data and here's my visualization, right? It doesn't work like that. So you start with having the data. You may need to model the data, meaning you may need to organize the data properly. That's maybe the best way to talk about modeling. Then you will use different kind of visualizations to see, okay, what actually makes most sense for this kind of data? What kind of visual should we use? That's in module 4. Module 5 will be explore data in Power BI. So you may want to, try out different data sources and data connectors that are there. And then the last module is about publishing and sharing in Power BI, meaning, you kind of create the final report or the final dashboard or the mobile app, and you can kind of share it. So here are 6 modules. My aim is that we try to cover all the 6 modules in the next 6 or maybe 7 sessions. But it can only go as fast as you guys can absorb and move in these modules. Yeah, it's not a very advanced module. So if you look at it, it is actually a beginner module. You can see here, I'll show you. It shows here, look here, it shows it's a beginner lesson on Power BI. It's not an intermediate or expert lesson in Power BI, right? So all it does is, it gets you more familiar with Power BI. And yeah, that is something a data analyst should know, and data analyst should sort of, hopefully understand. So it's not very complicated. It is really great if everybody can go through this module and learn something more hands-on, because if you complete the learning, if you complete the learning path, and if you complete the 6 modules, you will get like a Microsoft completion thing, which you can, use it on your CV or use it on your resume to say, hey, we completed this learning path. It carries a little bit of a weight. I wouldn't say it carries a lot of weight because it's just an introduction to Power BI in a sense, but at least it tells people that you understand about Power BI, you have worked with it, you can modify and use the data with Power BI. So it has some value, but it is still a beginner course. So I wouldn't get too, it's too worried. It's not too much of an expert course. Okay. let's come back. So I'm expecting that we do one module per class, but that can be a bit challenging. It can only work as fast as you guys can work, right? Because again, I don't need to do this course myself, right? I mean, I don't need to do this module, but I think, yeah, you all need to. So if I'm willing to work with you together. You know, we work together through each of the modules. But again, if I see people are not doing the module work, then I will have another discussion like, okay, do you want to do this or not? And we can check again. If you don't want to do this, we can use the time to share more high level knowledge. But again, I think this is the best way to learn hands-on. Um, Now I had these questions. Can you access the Microsoft Learn portal and can you find the learning path? So I hope most of you have not yet gone to the Microsoft Learn portal and tested whether you can access it and whether you can find this learning path. I hope after this session you do that first thing. First thing you do that, because I think I should check back with everybody to say, hey, can you access the Microsoft Learn portal? Have you reached this learning path? Can you access this learning path? It is free. It's available to everybody, so it should not be a problem. The second thing is, do you actually have a computer to download and work with Power BI, on the internet? So that's again important. You need to have a computer to download and to be able to work with Power BI. This will not work just with a mobile phone. So that's another question that I have. Maybe we can check if everybody has a computer. So is this going to work or not? Like, do people have, everybody has a computer, I suppose, right? Or you have access to computer at a lab or some facility. Can I understand about that? Because I'm not sure if just download. Okay, Omar, do you mean you downloaded the Power BI or the Microsoft Learn website? You were able to reach it through your computer? Is that what you mean? Okay, smile, yes. Can others also respond? Everybody has a computer, or everybody at least has access to computer. You may not have it, like it may not be like your own computer, but okay. Can others put this in the chat window, please? Okay, thanks, Omar. What about others? Okay, Ahmed, thanks. Sikaria, yes, I've downloaded to use it for my work. Okay, Abdul Kader, that's really good. That's really good. Good. What about others? Everybody has a computer, please. Can you type it in so I can understand? Because otherwise I can't organize the next steps that is, helpful for everybody. Let me wait for others. Can you respond? Okay, Abdi Hakim, thanks. Okay, so I assume that everybody has a computer. Okay, please, again, discuss it with. Um, yeah, you can download the Power BI desktop. Yeah, it's available for free, so you don't have to. You don't have to. We don't have to pay anything for it. So we should download it. It will in the learning path you will see when it will suggest to download, but you can go ahead and download it already. Okay, I assume everybody has a computer, right? Please work or at least share amongst your friends that you need access to Microsoft Portal and you probably also need a computer. If you don't have a computer, hopefully you have access to a computer somewhere where you can work on this. Okay, I will proceed further. So let me go to module 1 now. Okay, let me go to module 1. I just did it earlier in the week. But can everybody see my screen? Can everybody see my screen? Let me go back. Everybody can see my screen, right? Can somebody just type so I know everybody can see my screen? Yeah, okay, Ismail, thanks. So yeah, so this is the first module. It has got 6 modules. This is the first module. First module says get started building with Power BI. Um, it'll basically cover learn what Power BI is, including its building blocks and how they work, some of which I just showed to you, like the building blocks I just showed to you. But if you click on, let's say, the first step, it will guide you, right? This is really made very simple. If you click on the module overview, it will guide you through whatever these 5, 6 topics, and then it says, hey, module completed. And like if you see, for me, this module is completed. It gave me like 700 experience point. This is like a point that Microsoft tracks. Microsoft track these points, but you click introduction. So I just clicked introduction, and it will just walk you through what is Power BI. I just showed you this. This is what Power BI is, right? It takes data from different sources, puts it together into a good kind of visualization and insights. I just showed you this. What are the parts of Power BI? There are three main parts: the desktop, the BI server, and then it's here. It says download Power BI desktop. So if you can download the Power BI desktop from the web or as an app from Microsoft Store on Windows Lab. So you can use these two links to download it on your computer, and then you can sign into Power BI service. Now, Power BI service is the Power BI on the internet. So let me go. So it says, hey, you know, you can get a free trial of Power BI.com, and you can sign up with your email address. So so I already have access to it, so I will go there. But if you don't have access, then you can create your own account. Yeah, we're still in, let's say, the introduction first module, right? Um, and then it says, hey, so the common flow of working Power BI desktop where it is created and is published. Blah, blah, blah. So this is what I want you to go through after every class. So after every class, you go through it. I will already introduce the module to you. Okay, this is like my Power BI screen, right? It also has icons from my office because we use Power BI in our office, and you can see like I have a lot of apps I work with, and we can, and when you can see these are all my apps. This is my home screen, and this is my own workspace, but I don't have anything in my workspace because I don't create apps. Okay, I don't create new apps. I just use apps that are created by other data analysts in my company. But yeah, here are some of the apps that I use for work, but we will create a new app as we go through the module, okay? As we go through the module, we will create new app. I have now logged in through my, let's say my own login, but you all will have to log in through your own, sorry, where is it? You will have to log in through your own account, and you will see similar kind of screen. You will see with your home, favorites, apps shared with me, different workspaces, and my workspace. Okay, and then it says, okay, this first module is complete, so you kind of move to the next unit. Not the first module, I mean like the next section of the first module. And so here it shows how to use Power BI, where do you bring data, etc. So just read through it, and then it's, let's say the next section is completed, then you move forward. And this is the thing we talked about as well. So here are the various building blocks: visualizations, data sets, reports. What is a visualization? What is a data set? So what I'm expecting is that in the session, in our class, I will just select few items from that module to just share with you as a bit of a um, just giving you some idea about what is covered in that module, and then I'm expecting you to go into the Microsoft Learn portal, go into that module, and complete it in 1 week. So between now and next class, you complete this first module, and we will reserve some time for some questions that you had from the first module, and then I will introduce the next module and say, here's what the next module will have on a very high level. And so this way, every time you get a little bit of an introduction and a little bit of a heads up on what is in the next module. But then I'm expecting you to go in and do the module. Okay, and so therefore you need the access to the website, you need the access to the learning path, etc. Okay, does it sound good or not? Let's see, are there questions? Are there questions already about the process? Let me admit the two students. Can we ask, are there questions? Okay, our next Hey, I heard something on the call on the um, microphone. Is there a question? And this is the best way to learn about it, right? I mean, of course, we can have a lot of lectures about what a technology is and what does it mean and all of that, and all that is fine and good. But it's actually about doing it, and it's about getting your hands dirty with the technology. Unless you do that, you will not really learn about it. It's nice to talk about it, but you will not learn about it unless you do it yourself. And so that is what I'm hoping. I'm really happy about it. I'm really excited about it. I myself still play around and work with new technologies, um, by actually doing it. Sakaria, at the end of this course, could you please help us to prepare exams to become certified? Okay, we can try to do that. Um, but the certification, okay, maybe we can reserve 10 minutes to talk about certification, Sakaria. So I will, or whatever, 5-7 minutes to talk about certification. I think that's a very good point. Very good point. So let me come to that. It will need a little bit more than just this learning path to get the certification. So that's why I said just hold on that thought. Um, but I agree. I mean, if you can get certified, that's brilliant. There's nothing like that. You will, it's really good. You can add it to your resume, to your CV, and it is really in demand. I don't know how much it's in demand in Somalia, but in the rest of the world, I mean, like where I live and work, where I'm from in India, there's an enormous demand for people who can, who are certified in such a technology. So yeah, so I'm assuming the demand will also increase in Somalia if it's not high now. But I mean, this will give you an edge over other um, applicants who don't have a certification on an actual technology, and they're just more general data analysts that they know and have worked with data, but they don't know any technology fairly well. So but are there other questions on the approach? So the approach is that in every class, I will give you a bit of a guidance on key concepts of the module that you have to do next. And then you take the whole week. So the homework is that you do that module between now and next week, Sunday. So you can do the module between now and next week, write down the questions. You can post the questions on Google Classroom, or you can, keep the list of questions and share it with me when we start the next lecture or anything like that, right? Don't worry about if it's a stupid question or this is not a question. I don't, it sounds very simple. Doesn't matter. Whatever question it is, just post it on Google or keep a list, and we will talk about it. That is the only way to learn. You cannot think like that. This is a too simple a question to ask. No question is too simple. So feel free to ask. That's the only way to learn. Um, Is it clear? Can I ask, at least some people respond, that is it clear what the approach we will take, which is that I will talk about the module that you need to do next in the next 1 week. A little bit I will talk about it. I cannot go through the whole module in 1 hour, so I'll talk about a few things, and then you guys do the module, and also I will do the module. Like if you see, I did the first module already. If you see here, uh, for me, um, if I can go back one more level, let's go back. Let me say the module one is actually done. If I just quickly go back, you'll see there. Um, this is the learning path. We come here, create and use analytics reports with Power BI. You see, it says one of 6 modules completed, because I completed actually module 1. So I will also complete this, and I will probably complete it before you, before the lecture on it, so that I can pick up what are some of the key concepts to share with you in the class. And then you need to go and do this module next. Okay? Is the approach clear? Okay, Ismail, thanks for sharing, because I'm not sure if everybody's understanding what I'm saying. So sorry, I'm asking again and again, but it's just I'm trying to make sure that everybody sort of understands the approach. Okay, Mohammed Yusuf, that's good. That's good. Okay, that's good. That's good. Thank you, everybody. Okay, that helps me understand that you're understanding as well. So that's good. So I will, so I will do the module first, select a few things that I want to share with you in the class. Then you have the homework basically to go and do that module for the next 1 week and come with questions or things you are stuck on, etc. So like I said, the first module is very simple, just introduces Power BI, asks you to download a bit of the Power BI service. And that's a nice thing here, check your knowledge. So when you finish the first module, there is automatically a set of questions to check your knowledge. And if you see here, I did this. So, you see like I got this tick mark, meaning I kind of completed this check. But this is a good way to, it's like a short quiz, and it already tells you, have you understood what what the module was trying to say. And and let's say if I answer, I'm not reading the question, but let's say I answer something and I check your answers, it will show me what was wrong and what was right. I just randomly answered. And so this way you can learn that, hey, how to yeah, what is the right answer, for example. So let's say if I do this, yeah, so I got all the answers correct. So I just read the questions now and answered. So it's all correct. But it is a good way to check your test, your understanding of the module. Okay, so I'm also expecting you to just do this short quiz. It will be there and at the end of every module. It just takes like 2 minutes to do this. Can we? Yes. So Shire, I think you joined maybe a little bit in the session. Of course, we're going to do analysis using Power BI. That's what we will do. So these modules, they are not just going to show Power BI and how to download it, but of course, we're going to do analysis with a data set in other modules. So this is just the first module. When you do this, you just kind of understand you've downloaded the service. Hopefully, you can access the service, etc. And then when we go into this second module, this is the second module, get data with Power BI desktop. This is something we'll learn about next week. If you see here, it says get data from Excel, transform that data to include in a report. We will actually use a real data set that is available on Microsoft's website. So maybe I can show this. I've not done this module yet, but I'll do it over the next week. Let me go create a visual, publish a report, take going, connect to the data, choose data to import, right? So you can use your own data, but Microsoft will give us some data to use. Likely you've used Microsoft Excel before. Sorry, I'm moving the screen too fast, but what I'm trying to show is that there is a, here, for more information, see get data from Excel workbooks. It will actually, there is a link in which it will give us the data set that we can use. So don't worry about it. Of course, we will actually do the analysis with some sample data. You can use some other data, but as we go through the module, we will actually use sample. We will use sample data. Let me go back. Sorry, 1 second. But in the first module, it just introduces you to the Power BI concepts. But like in the second module, when I go in the second module, this is where we will actually get the real data, and we will sort of start to modify it. So I will share more about second module like in the next week's class, but I expect everybody to complete module 1 between now and next week. Okay, now let's talk a little bit. That is clear, right? It's clear. Now the thing is, of course, we've got these 6 modules where we will learn more about Power BI through the 6 modules. The modules will become a little bit difficult as we proceed. Like third and fourth module will be a bit more difficult, I think, may take more time. So I'm hoping we can keep up the pace and do 1 module per week. But if we can't, and if a lot of students are struggling, okay, then we may need to rethink about the approach. But I am really kind of positive that you all are capable enough to just, do this in 6 weeks. So let's see if you can prove me right or wrong. And I will do these 6 modules with you. Um, but if we can't complete the 6 modules in 6 weeks, then we may organize like like seventh or eighth lecture to kind of complete it. Okay. So we will aim to complete these 6 modules. Now let's talk about certification a little bit. Any other question on these modules? Okay, thanks Ismail, thanks Shire. So it's reasonably clear our approach. Hope this is interesting and exciting for you guys, because it's about really doing it. It's not just about talking about it, right? Enough of the talking about technology, but it's the fun is in doing it. Now, okay, thanks Zakaria. So let me tell about the certification. So on the same Microsoft Learn portal, you see there's a certification link. Yeah, there's a certification link, and we just quickly go to browse certifications, and there is a certification that is relevant to Power BI. So if I just select a product, like here you see the list, Power BI is part of something called Power Platform in Microsoft. Yeah, it's one of the items, just one of the products of Power Platform, right? There's a lot of other things, all pretty exciting stuff like Power Apps and Power Automate is really cool stuff as well. But let's say Power BI. Now, there is this certification. You see the certification? Microsoft Certified Data Analyst Associate. Yeah. This certification, let's say if I click on this certification requires you to take this exam. So you see the certification on this site. So it says Microsoft Certified Data Analyst Associate, and you can earn this certification if you clear just one exam, which is called Analyzing Data with Microsoft Power BI. Yeah, you see the exam here. Now the challenge is that um, this is not a beginner level course, or this is, sorry, not a beginner level exam. This is a bit of intermediate level exam. And the way to see it is, if the certification has 1 star on it, let me make this screen bigger. How can I make it bigger? Probably through here, Zoom. Okay, hopefully it's bigger. So this certificate is about the data analyst certificate. You only need to clear one exam to get this Microsoft certificate, which is this exam, Analyzing Data with Microsoft Power BI, which is what we are learning. Power BI is what we are learning, but this is not a beginner level certificate. So you see the 2 stars means it's an intermediate level certificate. And what we will learn with the 6 modules is only, I think, going to get us to like beginner level understanding. But I am, let's not, try to go too fast. Let's do the 6 modules first, and let's at least get good understanding of that first. And then I'm happy to um, pick up the additional modules or additional work that we may need to do from Microsoft Learn portal to actually become ready for this exam. Sorry. And so there are like extra modules we'll have to do to kind of um, learn more about the yeah, to be able to be ready at the intermediate level. I mean, essentially, we will do the exact same thing that it's measuring. So this exam will measure these 5 things. Can you prepare the data? Can you model the data? Can you visualize the data? Can you analyze the data? And can you deploy the deliverables like the application or the dashboard, etc.? Can you deploy it for users, and can you maintain it, etc.? So it's like it needs the same topics, but it just requires some additional skills. And on the same side, if you click on like what skills are needed for this certification, if you click on this, then it will already tell you. Microsoft is very clear. It already will tell you what it wants to measure in a certification. So there's no surprise. So here it says, for this data analyst exam, this is what I want you to know and understand about get data from different data sources. This is what they mean. You should know about all these things. Profile the data. This is what it means. You should know about all these things, and model the data, design a data model. This is all you need to do. So it very clearly tells you all that you need to do for the certification exam. But the challenge is that if there's no like a direct learning path with the clear modules to follow, then you need to know basically what to learn to be able to to actually be able to understand what this means. So that's where the challenging part is. But I'm happy to you know select the right um, training from the Microsoft Learn portal, select the right training to be prepared for this certification. But I would say let's not jump too far ahead, and let's first do those 6 modules, and let's take it after that. Um, okay, does it have associate, professional, and expert? Now I see. Yeah, this is only associate level. Yeah, this is only an associate level. Um, and so yeah, that is still intermediate level, right? That is not a beginner level. So that's something to understand. Um, let me go back. Yeah, yeah, I would very much encourage. I mean, can I just take a second to also show you a little bit more? So if you go to our certifications, um, we have, yeah, there are multiple certifications. If you go to data analyst, right? Most of you wanted to either become data analyst or at least be in the space of data analyst. If you select that, then you see that there are quite some different kinds of certifications. But again, I mean, there is a Power Platform overall one. Um, this is also associate level certification. So, I mean, I would suggest this is what everybody should target. The one that we just saw, that is the best certification for being data analyst. But it will require more than what we will cover in this course. So maybe, yeah, maybe that's something. Let's first do the 6 modules and then take it from there. Um, okay, so you know the assignment for next class, right? Start the learning path and complete the first module. Very simple, right? Start the learning path, complete the first module. And can I ask, I will put in here as well, can I ask that as a proof that you have, let's say, completed it, or as a proof that, I can see that everybody has done the assignment. Let me go back. Let's go back here. If I go here, so what I'll do is, yeah, I mean, as a proof that you've completed this, if you can post this screenshot which says, "Hey, I've completed," it should show your profile, and if you just take a screenshot of something like this, and it says, "Okay, I've completed module 1 out of 6." Then I know that everybody has completed it. So I may ask for that to be posted on Google Classroom so I can see how many people have actually completed the module and how many have not. And again, if you've not completed it, it's not a problem. If you're stuck somewhere, please ask your students, ask your fellow students, ask me, ask the questions. Without asking, how will you learn? So, don't be afraid of asking questions. Okay, I think that's all I have for today. Any questions about this? Any questions? I will post the slides and hopefully the recording by tomorrow. Um, you know where to go, so I suggest just go there and complete module 1, and post your questions on Google Classroom, or keep a list of your questions for next class. Anybody has any other questions? Let me check. Any other questions? Okay, if not, then I suggest have a good Sunday and work on this. Yeah, please work on this. It's going to be really exciting. Really exciting to work on this hands-on. Okay, then thank you everybody. And oh, how can I see which one is first? Abdi Hakim. So I mean, if you go in the if you go to the learning path, it will start with the first one. You will see it. You will figure it out. It's very simple. There is nothing. You will just see it. It will automatically show you the first one, and you you can go to the second one without doing the first one, but it will show you the next. Just follow the next tab. Yeah, just follow the next tab, and then it will kind of get you the first one first and second one second, etc. Don't worry, you'll figure out. It's very easy. Okay, thanks everybody for today. Yeah, have a good day. Thank you. Bye bye. Talk to you next week. Bye bye. Bye bye.